Interjects the same way that all of the poets who came before pose a problem for duration and solitude in time.
Recorded, and no note taken of these lines. You are important to me. But suspended ones, the gilded fork didn't register. Absentee processioneers, they exulted.
When we'll all be together again, just like I can't remember when we'll have paradise on earth at last. It's the coming of the solid state. Instantaneous control's what it takes. No more dropouts to spoil the view. Our society will be so cute. It's the coming of the solid state. When morality follows interest rates, making money's a right God given. Here's to Calvin, is it Coolidge or ism? I will make America great again. I will make America hate again. I will make America white again. I have already made politics and performance art one and the same. Good luck.
Perhaps with non-human animals, war is a state of being and ultimately natural occurrence. Thus, it cannot be called war. In writing, you try your hand at elegy, which suspends the act, person, or event being mourned. You have seen the list of names and have heard the conclusion. You follow them anyway on the page, through time. An evocation of tenderness which requires knowledge of the departed's interiority. Did he rush in? Was he full-headed and eager? Was he in fact reluctant and carried forth by the epitaph written against his will? Did he love his children most of all? What did the neighbors have to say of him? Honor me with your ongoing fearlessness, careful not to discolor what you believe in with too many examples. When they come for you, conspire first and most attentively with your dead. Make faithful note of every imagined assertion of self in hostile spaces. When the self cracked open there inside was a sentence cracking in tandem. Tell them there was a song in you then. Thank you.
This is called YMCA. Why don't you know anyone like me? Was it because you grew up in white working class Boston? Or because you nibble little cubes of consommé? I was a bully before I was ever named. So everywhere there's a tiny border that did not take into account who was there first. I'm talking about the land and no more spirituality gained by travel funds and a house in your father's name. M is the place where you like it in your face. I found girl power as alienating as it was apparent, though who knows. It is easier to say what you know after some support, easier to say you are worse off than to die quietly. See, you have gained imagination mostly through women, but I've never noticed you too shy to sign checks. Or how come you started advocating for anonymity at precisely the moment you were no longer relevant? Actually, I take it all back. Your family was not facing extinction, though fine, it was like the thought was no longer unthinkable, so I do relate to the panic and the planning. An honest lifetime without pain is the dream. But no one lives as they sleep. No one outlives their own purity, which is why Diane de Prima trends online. Which is why, okay, yeah, I did take pleasure in reading the online sample sentence on Urban Dictionary. Antifa looks at black man with white straight laces. Are you a Nazi? I, for one, don't know what's out there. How are all of you finding each other? Why doesn't anyone fight in front of me? I can't defend it, but I really don't want to lose my teeth. I like my face mostly the way it is. I wouldn't like to give up my shiny hair. That isn't to say I shouldn't have anything at all, or I should have anything at all. Or like there's the enemy we imagine fighting, and the enemy who truly wants to nuke us. Either way, my instincts are nowhere close to liberation, which is why I care most about my family in Queens and my other fam in the old country. This is how it is. If someone threatens your clan, you show up. Unless you think you can get away with meals as usual, fucking before sleeping, a level of vanity that straddles beauty as terror, arms for hostages, and another word for another word I refuse to say. Come on. And no matter how cowardly I dip, I won't forget my father's first year in America. He stole chlorine from the YMCA for laughs, accidentally stepped foot in church because of a sign, free food for the weary. He didn't identify as hungry, but anyway, he went. Anyway, his ID was recorded. Anyway, I lost my birth certificate in transit. Anyway, I wrote it all down and expect what is commonly referred to as nothing, 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 nothing. Thank you.
Outside online hacks allowed, voting machines preset by vigilante technicians, percentiles monitored by veteran bookies, and posts verified by journalists who are experts in pornography. America, the majority, the desire to freely invest in the futures of wars.
Cheryl Clark is a radical African lesbian feminist. Cheryl Clark is the author of 5 books of poetry. Please welcome.
Butter and blow, one with the decorated wings and the other iridescent skull. The sight of meat disgusts me when I look in a mirror. I entered nature once, sheathed in borrowed afterbirth and a baseball cap, of which I wore one backwards. It was the birth. Best dressed, and yet I was not stopped for a photo, nor lashed sideways with rainstorm, nor hail, nor offered one shit of a black bear laid underfoot. What is gravity? And are we entitled, as floaters by, that we sometimes are the smartest dumplings on the map and the dumbest lost in a field of thistle? Quotation marks launch in the sky and can't close. Have you ever stuck your hand into a bag of turkey meat? Because the water here dries me, and for myself I have mined 4 days of smegma. Nature, how well do you know America? Have you met ever her, the androgynous here and now, as in time and space, face-hugging, rhythmless, interrupted hacks and wet chins? It was cosmic. On a hill blasted with Wi-Fi, I chased monarchs through a field of violet time. Telling you this, my docu-self huffs a red Sharpie and carves on you an X. You are here. You are here too. Voyeur, stunted and schlaffed out in crud. Your fingers swell like angel cake in my mouth. Moon River plays distantly, wistfully. Earlier, I said field of time with an H, as in human and hubris and humid, as in human hubris in the humid after rain heat dilates the mind. A door swelling shut into its jam like an ingrown toenail. It should hurt you. It should hurt you.
Our next reader is Samita Sinha. Samita Sinha is a vocal artist and composer who lives in Jackson Heights, Queens. Please welcome.
Okay. But also, I am the noun and elite. It just pisses me off that Con Edison doesn't realize that and keeps sending these turn-off notices. You know, I'm very contradictory, but I know it. And, you know, my mind has a mind of its own. So, okay, so for example, Happy New Year! No. I am so obnoxious, I am unable. These last few weeks that everybody's got the Happy New Year thing going, to just graciously accept their wishes, but I've never believed that. I've never believed, oh, next year is going to be great for you. I hope next year is really good for you. You know, like the birthday candles, you blow them out and you get a freaking...
And drinking the breath in a single sip. Welcome, no thoughts. Welcome, many thoughts. Welcome, wound that never heals. Welcome, event horizon where familiar things disappear. Welcome, age of chaos. Welcome, carefully choosing words so as not to tell everything because certain things lose fragrance in air. Welcome, loss of words. In a little while, there will be many. Welcome, no words. Welcome, many words. Welcome, all that is difficult. Welcome, all-consuming weariness. Welcome, familiar joys tinged with bitterness. Welcome reversal. Welcome moment when something new appears. Welcome unknown frontier that forces us to become more than we ever were before. Welcome all that is difficult. Welcome turning all mishaps into the path. Welcome driving all blames into one. Welcome being grateful to everyone. Welcome new poem that some will dismiss. Welcome new poem that some may misunderstand. Welcome new poem written quickly wherein I say, welcome new future of which I am not afraid, for I have already looked into an abyss and I am prepared for light. Welcome subsiding of light. Welcome returning of light. Welcome turning to light. Happy New Year.
People that couldn't understand what happened to me, that happened to me. Do you know what I mean? You know what I mean. Wait, don't go. I made something for you. So when I was a child, I thought a lot about torture and abduction, and my therapist says that children who think about torture are really creative and destined for creative careers, so I guess it all worked out. So something that I would do is when my parents were sleeping, I would sneak down into the kitchen, and there was this big picture window, and if I had the lights on in the kitchen, then the night would just become this mirror. And I would watch myself as I would torture myself, generally with food, usually with pudding, which I'm not going to use right now because it's just a 2-minute, what have you. But it would go like this. Eat that fucking pudding or I'm gonna kill you. Oh my God. Eat that pudding now, please. Please. My parents will give you whatever you want. I don't want what your parents have to give me. I want you to eat that pudding. I don't know what you're doing this. You don't have to do this. Oh, eat that pudding now, bitch. Oh my God. Please. Eat it, eat it. And when I finally really scared myself, I'd stop. Thank you.
Our next performers are Stephen Taylor and Douglas Dunn and Mimi Gross. And none of these people, the things that were great and the things that sucked, and it was very beautiful. But what was amazing was the poems were Ron Padgett's poems, and they're such stunningly great poems. And Ron Padgett was the director of the Poetry Project. And along the way, they flashed Frank O'Hara's lunch poems, and they mentioned the New York School. And the next poet reading is Towle, and he's a great poet and a teacher of mine, and he taught here. And he was a student of Frank O'Hara, so it's crazy. Lineage is a real thing, and we're sitting in we're sitting in a lot of lineages here. Tony Towle's most recent book is Winter Journey, published by Hanging Loose. This is the 37th time he has read at the project's New Year's Day marathon. Kill it, Tony.
January 2nd, actually, 1974. They didn't call it the New Year's, they just did next one. As an elderly, embittered, unemployed, straight white male, having voted for Hillary Clinton probably puts me in a select group. I hope not. But... Yes. I don't want to have to use this platform as politics. This was not a big business revolution. This was fraud. It was Fox News, Fox Propaganda Network, getting together with vilification and slander over a 25-year period, and it worked in the FBI. Now, Moving on. So I have two short poems. Homage. It was not the cup of hypnoerotic tea, but the calculations of her memoirs that stirred the secret possum hiding in the crowd to dream of thermal compatibility. As I was explicating these lines to an immense golden hawk, in language that I hoped it would understand, and the leaf people jostled for position overhead on the twigs of the sacred grove, I heard the voice of a poet. Would you like me to help you cross the street? Or maybe it was across the street, but it was a real street I had to cross, and a real poet. A poet who wanted to ensure that I made it to my next poem, the one where he would help me across the street, so I could safely attend his reading.
Piles of presents wrapped in fancy paper. The red one with the green ribbon, and the green one with the red ribbon, and the blue one with silver, and the white one with gold. It's not what happens, it's how you handle it. You are in a water bubble human body on a private jet in seemingly a God world, a glass of champagne, a certain luminosity and clarity, skin of air, a flat sea of white clouds below, a vast dome of blue sky above, and your mind is an iron nail in between. It's not what happens, it's how you handle it. Dead cat barrels catch a falling knife after endless shadow boxing in your sleep, fighting in your dreams and knocking yourself out. You realize everything is empty and appears as miraculous display. All are in nature, the play of emptiness and clarity. Everyone gets lighter, everyone gets lighter, everyone gets lighter. Everyone is light.
Like, is he my father, is he my mother, or is he my baby? Tammy Faye Starlight is here at last. Tammy Faye Starlight is a New York-based performer, and she is honored to be part of this beautiful day. She went upstairs to go to the bathroom.
Hey, Eileen, Myles is going to read. Eileen Myles was pretty much born at the Poetry Project. She's our #1 fan. And she was a presidential candidate in 1992. Eileen!
So I just want to say that in November, there was just a few days before the election, there was an amazing event on the High Line for Zoe Leonard's I Want to Die President. And a whole bunch of us performed, and it was incredible. And because I'm I'm probably the only former presidential candidate in the room. Zoe said, would you write a piece as if you were still running today? And I thought I could go further. I could write a piece as if I am accepted. And so, to put you back in that bubble, I will do that piece. So, thanks guys. This is my acceptance speech. First, I want to say this feels incredible. To be female female to run. Now, the idea is that I've been running since 1992, so get it. To be female, to run and run and run, and to not see any end in sight, but maybe have a feeling that there's really no outside to this endeavor, this beautiful thing. You know, we don't have a single female on any of our bills. And what about two women loving, or even more? A lot of women, a lot of money. Is there a message that I fail to receive that the face of woman cannot be on our money? And what about that house I just won, that white one? When I sit there, and if I sit there, and I gotta tell you, I'm not sure I want to sit there. Some of you might remember my first campaign, yeah, that was back in 1992. Few men have run for 24 years. 25 by the time I stand to take the oath in January to serve my country. I did not quit. I stand here with you on this beautiful, rapturous day in New York to turn around, to look back and look at all that we've won. But I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get back to that house, that white one. We often hear these words even as an explanation of what metonym means. Are you familiar with this term? Yes, I promise you a poetic presidency. The White House speaks is a metonym. Certainly that White House we speak of is not the whole government. Like Fred Moten says, it is incomplete. But it has come to be a symbol of it. And I think two things. I think whiteness. I think of the whiteness of the house, and I think of houseness. It houses the government. Now that I have won, it offers to house me now. I now officially make that White House a homeless shelter. It is a complete and total disgrace that we have people without homes living on the streets of America. I have lived with them. Not for long periods of time, but in the same way that I'm the first president who knows what women feel because I'm a woman, I am one. I have also eaten chicken with the homeless. I ate at the Bowery Mission, very rubbery, very chewy chicken. Those chicken were not happy when they lived, and they are no happier being chewed on dead at the Bowery Mission. And the chewers are not happy either, no. So here's the future. Good food at the White House for all the homeless in America. You know who the homeless are. They are military men and women who fought our pointless wars, who came home after each stupid, greedy war we have waged, and they got less. Is there a GI Bill for veterans of Iraq and Afghanistan? I'm not sure, but I don't think so. Can they buy a house? Who can buy a house? Under Myles, they have bought the White House. That is my gift. The White House will house the mentally ill, outpatiented during the great President Reagan, meaning he threw them out of the house, the mentally ill, thrown out of the American house, and the alcoholics who do not have free and abundant and available treatment. Because this country breaks our hearts. We will habit them too. We will occupy all government buildings and memorials, housing and holding and loving the homeless and the sick and the starving. We'll do what the statue says, you know, liberty. We will take buildings and we will build buildings, and our culture, our new America, will begin to live. Our government needs to be in the business of living, not dying. What else is the government for? The government will become more departmental and take you in, you and your wonderful needs. We'll start with the Department of Women. Obviously, to say women matter and do matter so much and a lot, we need a distinct place in the government to specifically focus on female concerns, which is parity mainly, reforming Congress, so that if America is increasingly diverse in a multitude of ways, our Congress must represent those groups, percentage-wise. That's smart, don't you think? So if most of the people in America are female, so should be our government, right? America is not a department store. We need to do more in our country than shop online and at the mall. Let's face it, everyone is home shopping and yelling at each other on their computers. The malls are falling apart. The malls are pretty much gone. Let them go. We want to make real departments for who we really are, not shopping. We will be stalwart, we will be strong. Let's go. Let's go out. We are out there now. Yes. That's the way it works under Myles. Early on, I described the Department of Culture. We will have that. We will have art in America, not just a magazine. Just for starters, we will multiply the budget of the NEA by tenfold. We will bring back CETA. That was like an art workers. That was like an art workers program we had in the 80s, but we will call it CETA. CETA. What? I don't know. I just got elected. I haven't worked everything out. Just think of the possibilities. See the sky. See the river. who live on the streets. Get them in on the see the, smell the, hear the programs. We're going to massively fund libraries open 24 hours, and they will not be filled with homeless people because they will have homes. So the libraries will be filled with people reading and watching movies and going into the conversation rooms and having conversations and so on. All education will be free. Trains will be free. Cars will eventually be banned. Cars are stupid. No more pumping oil, no more fracking. Everything will be driven by the sun or else be plugged in electrically. Electric something. There'll be a lot of free food, a lot of archery. Everyone will be a really good shot. We'll get good at aiming, intentions, not killing. Oh yeah, and we'll send a lot of masseuses to Israel and Palestine. Everybody needs a good rub. No more pesticides here, anywhere. Lots of small farmers, an amazing number of stand-up comedians, and lots of rehearsal spaces and available musical instruments and learning centers for people like myself who would like to play something, perhaps a guitar. Nobody would be unemployed. Everyone will be learning Spanish or going to the sex center for a while, having ejaculation contests. Or just looking at porn for a while, and going out into the yard and helping the farmers improve the crops, just gardening, helping the flowers, distributing the flowers, see the flowers. When in doubt, always just being on see the person for a while. There'll be a whole lot of people encouraging people to see that. We want the see that to thoroughly come back. There'll be an increase in public computers like water, like air. Have we stopped the oil and the fracking early enough to protect the water and the air? We hope so. But there will be a decrease in private computers with an enhanced desire to be here, exactly here where we are, which some would argue is there on the computer, which of course would be allowed. But being here would be cool. Some people meditating, other people just walking around smiling, feeling good about themselves, living shamelessly and glad. Guns would be buried. Guns would be in museums, and people would increasingly not want to go there. Gun museums would die. What was that all about? Money would become rare. I would have a radio show as your president, and also I might be on television, and also I might want to talk to you. In the tradition of American presidents like Fiorello LaGuardia, the little flower, I would be President Edward Myles, the woman. Changing my name very often would be good. I would like that, and I would write a new poem for you each week. I just might walk around saying it. Eventually, you would forget I was the president. I would go to the gym. People who like to manage things, like there are people who like to play cards, and the managers would change often enough, and they would keep the parks clean. America increasingly turning into one big park, one big festival of existence with unmarked toilets and nightly, daily events and free surfing lessons and free boards. Just put it back when you're done. And a good bed for everyone. I just slept in the best bed last night, and I slept in a plane. Sleep is great. Nobody would be short of sleep. Everybody would be well slept, chaotic and loving-hearted, and have all the time in the world to not kill, to love, and be president. Everyone take your turn and dance. Dance now. I love my fellow citizens. It is good to win. Thank you. Last night, like the head of the FBI decided to steal the election by making shit up about me because I am female, but that wasn't true. And we are already here, undiluted, unmucked up, wide awake in America for once. See the, all of you in your fabulous beauty and your power and your hope. Thanks for your vote. I love you so much. Thanks. Columbia University Press, and he is here with us now. Jonas.
First, I wish you all a great, happy, intense, complicated, unpredictable, beautiful year. I heard a reference to this place as strange. To me, this place is normal. And everything else outside of this place is strange. I worked all my life to become young. No, you can't persuade me to get old. I will die 27. I was born, I grew up old. My youth was spent in old and among old. Then I worked hard to become young. And now I have reached that point. Now I have been young for a decade or two. But it's a process, a way of becoming. I'm not an exception. I think I am a normal case. Others have been deprived of youth by circumstances, parents, excesses of food, sex, passions, existential nonsense, etc. Thank you, angels, for protecting me from it all. Thank you, angels, for guiding me to love normal earthly pleasures, wine, song, and women. Body, my body always took care of itself. I was always somewhere else. I am amazed it still holds so well. It will last a good while, so I'm not worried, my friends. My ideal are those old people, men and women, in old countries that I used to see as a child. The old man who used to visit my father when I was a child. He used to climb on the roof of our house and stand on his head on the chimney. I was told he was 100.
An announcement, somebody has lost 2 small keys. We want this woman to be able to get home tonight. We don't want, I mean, she could sleep at the Poetry Project, but why would she want to do that? So if you look around, 2 small keys, what color? Gold? Silver? Silver.
Where?
Then this area here, it's that woman standing there.
The area was there. Okay.
This whole circle, right. And a puppy was born today. Look Thurston Moore? Wait, I have the answer. He's a communitarian. He's a vegetarian. He's a Leo. He's a brother-sister. I know him as Thirsty. He's a student of this poetry project, past, present, and endless future, and he is like one of the world's oldest living, most brilliant teenagers. Give it to us, Thurston.
Thank you. Pregress. The page torn itself out on a plain line with a curve like the earth. Its destroyers too busy with reality's accreting encapsulation to notice. Awed with interchangeable centers in fear of opposition. One too has having tremendous chaste desires to be slights. Don't insert your image thing there in that likeness. Dig dug with reactionary vegetables. Pensive music sidles up to brackets. I've got your whole back, but you got no neck. In my backpack, requilibrium versus prequilibrium. Pitch the shit or don't. There are many formaldehydes of anti-expression. Every 5 minutes, adding 5 years, scale peers into traffic. Let us now misapprehend nature's inhospitable quality, butterfly attacks. Private life goes on the wing, so this is like it pointing to itself or handing it to you, because it is the enigma, right? I mean, it is it.
Currently lives in Brooklyn. Tommy Pico, everyone.
Thank you. I'm gonna make this very quick because I just realized I have to pee really fucking bad. I'm gonna read you an excerpt from a book I'm working on right now called Junk. It's basically a breakup poem in couplets. It's due next week to my publisher, so if prayer is your thing, please pray for my creativity. So here we go, Junk. The days are burnt packets of fake sugar in faggot land, and Sundays are the blurry worst. I'm taking notes in therapy like be more in the moment. Everyone, they say, is trying to quiet the buzz, but here in the white waves, in the ring of your absence, I chafe to chatter. I leap into a scream of swans, rubbing their swan cocks against the water's ass. Starving junk in the sticky soda of my boy meets. Spit on that rock hard narrative, make it glisten. Fuck, oh fuck, my head a rabid Sega, frantic 16-bit divination, my hands, huge Venn diagrams. The middle is where I miss you, filling me, honey, in the raw. It's odd to feel someone slip away, drilling their junk inside you. The sky is still and shy and surfing. Newsflash, predictions are insecure, but here are the rainbow road's possible paths. Come Delta, choke my loneliness, daddy. More graphics, more resolution, more jagged chin clips, more anarchist sex dolls, more jewel teeth, more tears on the pizza, more hungry boys somewhere in the noise machine. The fat junk wags against my throat. The junk is charming in the hollows. This dude leans into me like cigarettes, half asleep. You know how some people are workaholics? Well, I'm an alcoholic. Today's jaw lick, click, clock, stops the... Today's jaw lick, click, clock, stops the syrup leaking from my pores. One more time, please. Can I please ride just one more time? I got the tightest, pinkest purse. Sorry, clutch. Let's play a game called Sociopath or Gay Man. Let's bottomless brunch. Let's pedal bagel with strawberry, tofu, cream cheese, toasted snickerdoodle, smoothie, fuchsia puree, adrenaline, oh, bellinis. I'll eat it, daddy. Baby, I'm the opposite of a foodie. I'm like a junkie. Thanks.